mixing, fixing for another big game. It's the coach, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see running back Joe Mixon coming off a 100-yard performance a week ago, as it'll be the Houston Texans taking on the Cleveland Browns. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
We are just a stone's throw away from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as we get set for football at First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Houston Texans and the Cleveland Browns. This fielded at the 2. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. Leading the charge will be their quarterback, always fun to watch, Deshaun Watson.
Okay, I thought there was something to build on in last week's game by his performance. I thought he played fairly well overall. The numbers won't knock your socks off. 2 touchdown passes and an interception. The bottom line, though, they lost.
Yeah.
How does he eliminate that one interception, continue to take care of the ball, and maybe increase the number of times he puts the ball in the end zone with a receiver?
They begin with a run by Smith. And that is the kind of tackling they want to see all game, as he'll lose yardage to start things out. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's second down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. After the penalty, it's Mixon. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41. And let's look here at the Houston offense.
Out of the backfield is Joe Mixon, and he was a valuable commodity coming out of the University of Oklahoma because of his ability to be so versatile. Can run it inside with power, gets to the perimeter and can outrun people, catches the ball not only out of the backfield, but you can split him out just like he would be a receiver. And I think if he wanted to dedicate himself, he'd be an all-pro kick returner.
10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
From the 50, it's Watson. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the tuck rule that they can fall back on anymore.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Throwing again is Watson. His throw incomplete. He released that awkwardly. It almost looked like a pitcher who gripped his fastball a little too hard and let it go late, and it bounced in front of the plate.
Yeah, one of those fastballs that ends up at 57 feet, not 60 feet, 6 inches. Just a little short with the arm, which is unusual because we saw him in warm-ups. He's got a big, strong arm when he delivers it with confidence.
And he comes back with one complete. And he's got this down to the 35. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down. Nice job keeping that opening drive alive, and they're in plus territory, that part of the field where you really want to convert on 3rd down. They did.
Big-time pickup for them, and now I think the aggressive play callers think to themselves, this part of the field, I take my shot at the end zone, because the closer you get to the end zone, the field gets condensed. Makes it a lot tougher to run those routes. You still got a chance to actually run past people right now. Take your shot at the end zone early in the down and distance count.
A run on first down, but it's not going to get him much. Maybe a yard, and that's all. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
On 2nd and 9, Watson. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he's
under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
That opening drive looked good for a moment there, but they'll wind up being turned away thanks to the missed field goal.
And those especially hurt when you come into a game on the road. You're trying to get things to go your way early, and now you suffer a setback right out of the gate.
They'll run it now with Robinson. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Now a give right side. It's Robinson. Now Robinson coughs up the football. It's loose. And the Texans scoop it. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops.
They may have the edge on the scoreboard, but that hasn't made them passive, has it? I mean, they dialed up a pretty good run blitz there. And Brandon, you know that all blitzes aren't just designed to get to the quarterback in the passer. Sometimes you're just trying to take away every gap, every hole that might be created in the running game, and they did it to perfection and caused a fumble there.
Took away the gaps, took away the holes, took away the football. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
This is a little bit like baseball here. Strong up the middle. Both sides want to be that. In this case, the offense ended up winning the ultimate battle.
And those big runs between the tackles, that's a little deflating for a defense, isn't it?
It really is, because that's where your strength's supposed to be. You're supposed to be in a spot where they can't make that yardage there. You're supposed to send them outside. Not in this case.
That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game. He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Throwing on 3rd down. Watson over the middle, complete. That's Terry. And he's going to come up well short as they rally up to stop him at about the 16.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
The kick by Pinheiro is good. And it's now 3-0 Texans. So he gets an early chance to redeem himself, and he's able to put that one through.
And how happy is he that he's able to get that second chance so quickly after the first miss, gets his confidence back up, and who knows, they may need him for an even bigger kick later in the game.
And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for, is that word that some people don't want to hear. but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's two different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
53, Mike. All day, punt.
Hey, Foxtrot. Hit it.
2nd and 3. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Big yardage there for the Browns, 18. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports.
Flipper.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Robinson, and he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. This drive starts with 2 steps forward and now 1 back. A pair of 1st downs, and here a loss of yardage.
60 on.
53 all day, just like that.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
8, read.
I hope you brought your lunch because I'm about to take you to school.
Ready.
Fights loose. And some good, tough running, but he's still going to be stopped about a yard short. 7 yards on the carry there, but now they're staring at 4th down.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
It would be a very makeable field goal try from here, but instead they're going to go for it. They'll run for it with Robinson. And boy, is he close. Did he get there? No, they're going to say he's short of the line to gain.
Partner, when you see a running play stop short like that, you just know that the defensive front, they won the battle of leverage and created a push back into the opposing backfield.
And for the offensive coordinator, whether you had 1 yard to go or 20 yards to go on 4th down, now you're probably saying, oh, maybe I should have passed it, right?
Yeah, hindsight is always 20/20.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. The Pro Bowler DeAndre Hopkins, the intended receiver. 3rd down here.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. The Texans send the punter out as he's on a punt for the first time this afternoon. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. And 9 yards there on the return following a punt of 47. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go-around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach because this is what he preaches all the time. Attack at all times in any spot on the field. And he likes touchdowns, not field goals. Now, your field goal kicker, you got to make sure you nurse him through.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Dexter Lawrence. Just creating a disaster there for the offense as that one goes 16 yards in the wrong direction. After the sack, they're staring at a challenge basically from the other side of town. It's 2nd and a country mile. Quick hitter here, it's complete. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
You've always been very good about checking my math. Am I correct? That's the first time that it's been incomplete when they're throwing it to him?
Yes, he had caught every other ball coming his way.
So they feel like they've got something really good going there, and they're going to continue to go there until the defense makes an adjustment and takes it away.
Well, they finally made an adjustment there. We'll see if they can build on that stop. So here are the Texans to take over. Remember, right now they are on a 6-game losing streak, trying to snap that. And a good sign is they've got the lead in the football. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. And this is picked up by the Browns. And he'll take this down inside the 15-yard line. A little careless with the football, and he also had a fumble loss last week, didn't he?
He certainly did, and when I'm watching him play, the one thing that comes to mind is always remember, traffic, turbulence, people around you, 2 hands. Get 2 hands on the ball. Grip it tight. I know it looks cool to have it in one hand. Put it away, tuck it away, because you've got to take care of the ball.
They'll try and run. This is Robinson. And he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1. 2nd and goal from the 1. They'll try to run this one in. And he takes this one in for a Brown score. A great effort there with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Browns have taken the lead. A 1-yard run on 1st down, another one on 2nd. Tell you, it doesn't do much for the yards per carry average, but it gets them 6 points.
And I just wonder in contract negotiations, do you show the 6 points scored, or do you show the yards per carry
I'm showing the 6 points.
No doubt about it. And his team benefits. They don't care about yards per carry. They just care about points up on the board.
And now out comes Houston. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
You know, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. Watson will bring up the Texans here 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. And a quick throw here. That's complete. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Now Watson firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the 1st. Got what they needed there. The drive continues with a 9-yard pickup. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but they make them out of bounds. That does you no good.
So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. Now it's Watson. Quick hitter here, it's complete. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. To throw is Watson. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. The Browns offense trotting back onto the field. Still more than a minute to go, so there is time if they want to mount something here.
Not only time, but they have 3 timeouts at their disposal as well. So that changes everything that you're doing here. Without those timeouts, you can only work the sidelines, hoping to get out of bounds. Here, the middle of the field is still available because you can call timeout and regroup.
Second and 5. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's third down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense, when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you go make a play on the football.
And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27. Third down turns to first with that 5-yard pickup. He'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. Looking to throw. He's got a first down and then some at midfield. A big gain of 38 there on third down.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big gain. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Got out of the pocket. Didn't look like he had anybody open, Charles, so just gets rid of it.
And a good play by him. If no one's open and you don't have a running lane that you want to take, make the right choice. Get rid of it. Live to fight another down.
2nd and 10 now from the 27.
Jackrabbit, come on.
13 yards to pick up there. Good for a Cleveland first.
Gator. Number 53, Mike 53. Let's get it together, defense.
Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left. So they'll come up after the incompletion for second down. They'll set up to throw. His pass caught at the 4. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. A 14-yard touchdown. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage.
That's one of the better examples of clock management I've seen. Whittled it all the way down just about and still put the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, just a methodical drive and something really to take into the lockers here. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And it ends with a touchdown for Cleveland. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. So we have reached halftime here in an 11-point. Well, who needs a halftime? Am I right? Let's resume play. The Browns are going to get the second half kickoff, and they've got this lead as well as we are back and underway. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Browns to take over. They are trying to snap that 3-game losing streak on top so far with the football here, 1st and 10. They start on the ground with Robinson here. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a first down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because in a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Topper!
Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. Okay, so now the question, how did he get that wide open?
Well, we both know that he shouldn't, because from the time they handed out scouting reports before this game, he was circled, starred, everything. Find him, cover him. But sometimes you can scheme a guy open. You put the receivers in a bunch. Maybe you move some motion. Maybe you put them on the backside of a formation, and all of a sudden you've got a better matchup. Every now and then, the offensive guys, they figure a way to get him open, even with everyone keeping eyes on him.
And that's certainly a guy they want to keep trying to scheme open. They run. Robinson. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. He's already fumbled once in this game, and I thought the ball started to jostle there a little bit, but they got to him quickly at the line of scrimmage.
It sure did. And remember, if you're not a very confident runner and you've already dropped it once, if there's traffic around you, the only thing you think about is protecting the football, not gaining yards.
And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 17-yard line.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. This quarterback now 11 of 16 through the air. It's 1st and 10.
Go. What you got, Heavy? Give me some. Give me some.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And this is intercepted, but they'll say out of bounds. Oh, very close to a turnover there in the end zone. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down.
Yes. He's coming in motion. Hey. Now.
They're going to look to throw. And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. From 17 yards out. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
This is taken at the 3. Then he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. So here's the Texans offense now. They get set to start this third quarter. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. It's a gain of 35. Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game. And if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll inspire their defense as well and get a few stops.
Now the pass, and it's into the arms of Hopkins. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
I know you feel that.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. to throw, Watson. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's third down. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And this is off target to the left. Didn't get there anyway. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. You know that they were thinking second half comeback here. That's a big miss if they want to have a chance at that comeback.
A very big miss because time is becoming a real factor now. And they're 3 scores down.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
On the run, it's Robinson. He's got the first down and more inside the 40. And he's finally down at the 21-yard line. He's able to rip off 32 on that one. It's a first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. They'll look to throw, and this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. From the 21, it's 2nd and 10. They'll run here with Robinson. And he loses the football a 2nd time. And the Texans scoop it. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. Now Joe Mixon. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Defenses always talk about earning the right to rush the passer on 3rd down. And you know what offenses want? Win first down so they can set things up for themselves better.
And that wasn't helpful there. Not a big impact on 1st down. From the 25 on 2nd down, Watson.
When everything is in sync on defense, that means everyone's communicating really well, and sometimes it's nonverbal. They just know that when a receiver's in one spot, this person may have him, and he's in another spot, the next defender may have him. And they squeeze the passing lanes down to where it's so difficult to find an open area to deliver the football. They've made it tough on them all game long. But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
This is taken at the 18. A great return there of 22 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And this has been a game of contrast somewhat. As you see, he's had success moving the ball on the ground. That fumble on the last drive, though, that's now 2 that he's lost in this game.
And that's where it really hurts and makes things difficult on a coach because you mentioned the success he's having, yet if he keeps turning it over, it negates all of that success. Take care of the football, and he's headed for a big game.
This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
3rd quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
They'll run again here with Robinson. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. And we're back now here in Cleveland. It's the Browns football, and they've got the lead here as we start quarter number 4. The Browns on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. And oh, he coughed it up.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They'll try the left side. Robinson. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Eight yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Again, it's Robinson. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. How about this offensive line? They're really starting to establish themselves, take over this game.
And before the series began, I know exactly what was said in the defensive huddle. Guys, we got to get no less than a 3 and out. Let's get off the field. Instead, they can't find any traction towards doing that. Right now, they're just getting muscled all over the field and getting pushed down it.
Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. They'll set up a throw. And it's caught. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. It's the fullback. His first touchdown on the year. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. Trying to bust out of that losing funk, and these fans have to like this. And all right, fellas, this is more like it.
And I know that if this holds up after the game, they're going to give the fans a lot of credit being at home, getting the support. But you and I both know it goes deeper than that. They had to get it together in their own facility, look each other in the eye and say, okay, what's it going to take to break this losing streak? And they really came together with a good week of practice.
The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency. Move the ball at least a few times.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. On 2nd down, McFarland. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a 3rd down. Well executed there on 2nd down, so do you go back to the air on 3rd?
Well, that's a possibility, but now you've opened up things to where
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 40. And he'll score. Touchdown, Browns. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And fresh off the pick 6, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like what we talk about with defensive backs who get beat for a long touchdown. Short-term memory, right back out there doing the things that he does best, and knowing that taking care of the ball is paramount. Here's his opportunity.
It all comes back to those defensive backs for the former DB, right?
I don't know where that comes from. It just kind of emerges out of me for some reason.
It's deep in there, right? An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Watson to throw again. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down. The Texans on 3rd down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Watson now to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
A terrific return there. 27 yards all told. Now the Browns have a short field in front of them now as they take over 1st and 10. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's got this down to the 35. 14 yards, and it's a Cleveland first down. And looking to put this game on ice in the fourth quarter, but still not afraid to throw it, as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they tried to run the ball and run the clock out.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. And I think the ball's out, but this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same.
I don't know about you, but I can hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the friend there.
No doubt about it. Ball goes over the sideline, able to retain possession, no turnover. I know his coaches are screaming, just hang on to the ball, man.
This is caught. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
3 red zone trips, 3 touchdowns so far. They'll look for a 4th on 2nd and goal. And they'll let the fullback try and take him home. And trying to push forward, but he is going to be stuffed up in the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make it 2nd and goal. And now a fumble. The ball's out. Calling luck or skill, whatever the case is, they're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. I mean, they don't care if it was luck or skill. Boy, the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground, whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you retain possession, that's all you're looking for.
Well, they've been so good on 3rd down all day long. Can they convert another here on 3rd and goal? They'll look to throw here. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Zach Cunningham rolling in to get the sack. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Houston. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times...
Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it.
Plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. Now on 2nd and 16. Watson under pressure again, and down he goes again.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Here's Watson. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Terry. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The Texans send the punter out. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. It's taken to the 26. 12 yards on the return that time. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. 2nd and 10 And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Mike 53. Oh, yeah, I'm coming. Oh, yeah, I'm coming. Let's go. Go, 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 run.
He's got a 1st down and then some at midfield. That'll move the sticks for the Browns, a gain of 12.
But that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction, and when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and reward them.
And the ball is knocked out, and the Texans scoop it, and they will set up shop at their own 41-yard line.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
We're going to shut you down. We're going to shut you down.
After reviewing the play.
So the challenge comes in inside of 2 minutes, and it gets overturned.
And it changes the whole format of what's about to happen because both sides had thought a certain call had been made. Now they have to flip back and start over.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line.
You see me out here? That's right.
Now they get a 4th quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And for the Browns, a nickel set here on 3rd down. They'll keep it on the ground. McFarland, and he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. The Browns will quickly use their 3rd and final timeout. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. Taken in at the 22. Muscles him off. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before we hit triple zeros. The Browns drive about to get started. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. It's a win for the Browns, and they're happy in the dog pound as we say so long from Cleveland.